Hello, the Modern Mystic. I've only seen this one video of yours. I'll look at others. The thing about free will, first of all, I want to state right off that I think the question is sort of not a proper question because of the definition of freedom and the lack thereof. And I think it's better to talk about strong will and weak will when we're talking about questions of will because we're really talking about um, something that is never totally free or unfree. But regardless, um, I my I find I'm a little biased towards ancient philosophy, which thought that the purpose of a good philosophy is a good life. Okay, so when somebody's arguing against free will, I wonder the motivation. To me, that seems like that's not life affirming. That's not life affirming. And I know I'm an atheist, but some of this is my own faith. I believe that we are here to experience reality and to make these decisions, and it's sort of a gift that we do have individuation when you can look at the universe and say it's all one, um, but we experience it uh, as centered in ourselves, and everybody else experiences that, and part of that is the ego and the consciousness and the will. And so it's sort of a gift from the universe to us. Um, One of the few things that we can start from is the idea that we exist, and that includes a concept of a will. So to me, that's a bit of a starting point, and I just don't see what can be gained from proving there is no free will. I mean, if you reduce free will into something that doesn't look free, that just proves there's a problem with our definition of free. I mean, there's still a thing that we experience, and it's still called free will, or we can name it something else, but it'll turn out to be something. And how can we not embrace that something, whatever it is? How can we try to prove it doesn't exist? I don't mean a personal aspersion on you, but what has a person done that they want to say it was unfree? What is trying to be explained? Is it a slave morality where we're bitter at the concept of freedom, or I just don't get it. It seems like philosophical suicide, trying to prove that there's nothing at all to the idea of free will. Not trying to characterize it or trying to figure out what it really is, just saying it doesn't appear at all. I could go into technical arguments about these gaps between thoughts and having no external force. I don't believe that you're on the right track there at all. That to me is confusion based on the concept of mind-body dualism. And there is no mind-body dualism. The mind is a body. It's in the brain. It's an embodied mind. So no, you don't need an external influence in between the thoughts to say that you have free will. I take a different approach. I look at our behavior that we call free will and try to explain that. You can't say that behavior doesn't exist, because it does exist. All we're trying to do is characterize it and figure it out. But I don't even want to go too much into technical discussions. I mean, I really am curious as to what you think the motivation is, because it goes counter to having a life affirming philosophy.